Okay, so you can understand them because these are not tough. Everyone can understand, but I will take some of them. Look, mm, uh, so everyone plays computer games. Okay, so everyone plays computer games. So when you play computer games, you can be addicted. You know, addiction is there. Even though you want to, I mean, get rid of that one, you can't, right? Because you are addicted. So that may be one of the huge problems. So huge disadvantages of ICT. You are addicted to that particular game, right? So that is first one. The second disadvantage or second demerit is we know about social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right? So there are social medias available, different platforms. Basically, these social medias are developed in order to help the people to have relationship. Now you have friends, you are in you learn something in schools, right? But you know, after some time, maybe after 15 years, after 10 years, you may be in different part of the world. Maybe at that particular instance, you need to take, or you need to gather, I mean, again, right? So you need to find your friends. So definitely social media helps. But if you use social media, sometimes you can be affected because you may have some unsuitable relationship with other people. So that can easily affect both the male and female, right? I'm not focusing on female children. So both can be affected. So that is one of the demerits of ICT. It can affect the people because there may be some unwanted relationships possible because we don't know the people who are in the other side. By using the name or by using the photograph, you cannot exactly identify that person. So it is tough. Okay, second disadvantage. Third, you know, this is also a very common thread nowadays. People can upload the women and maybe some young children photograph after editing in unwanted way, right? So they edit the young, I mean, female or maybe children photograph in an unwanted way and upload it to the social media or try to upload to the social media for, I mean, granting money from them. So they try to blackmail them and grant money, right? So that is because of ICT. If ICT is not developed, you know, these things are not there. Okay, that is possible. And you know, these computer viruses, have you heard? Computer virus is a small program which can easily spread to the other computers and demolish. They can affect the computers. This is something different than the viruses which we talk nowadays. That's a virus which can affect the human and other things. But here, this is a small program. This is a software like game. But you know, softwares do good things for computers, but this software does bad things. That's why it is called virus. It gets the name virus. It is because of the replication ability. It has the ability to replicate, which means it can create multiple copies, like the human virus. So if that particular virus, I mean, this COVID or something comes, it has the ability to spread. It has the ability to replicate. So since this computer virus also has that ability, it gets the name virus. We will learn about virus in grade 11. At the moment, this is enough. So virus spreading is also another disadvantage. Imagine if the ICT is not developed, you know, these things are not experienced. There is no virus, there is no computer, there is no internet, right? So it is another demerit. And then you know, this is also another important thing, maybe a common problem which which we face. This one, spreading rumors. Right? You can simply create some rumor, false stories about someone and spread through the social media. So you know that can badly damage that person's image. So you say you don't like someone, you can simply create a story which can affect that person and spread through the social media. There are people to believe, right? So there are people who can believe that it is a true story. So now what happens? That image which that particular person maintains is badly damaged, right? So it is because of ICT. If ICT is not developed, yes, you can create the stories and spread, but it doesn't spread as you intended, as you wanted. Have you got the point, right? So there are so many demerits. Let's take some of them. Okay, first one, addiction. Addicted to computer games, internet, when continuously at computer without a limit, without a time limit or something. Okay, second, building unsuitable friendships through social media. I explained. Computers can be affected by viruses. Yes. Negative effects on psychology of a person by visiting improper websites. So this is also possible. So sometimes students or maybe young people can psychologically affected by visiting to some unwanted or some unwanted websites. That is possible. Publishing of edited photographs and videos of individuals affecting their personal lives. I explain about this. So, you know, anyone's photograph can be taken nowadays because everyone uses social media, everyone uses Viber, WhatsApp. So sometimes it is too easy to take someone's photograph, and after that you can easily edit and affect that one. Okay, so that is possible. Right. So these are some of the demerits or disadvantages of ICT. But remember, there may be many, even some of the harmful or very serious disadvantages also there. But I didn't include them because sometimes they need some sort of explanation, description. Definitely, I need some time to explain. So these are not important for grade 10 student. These will be in grade 11. Okay, we have some major demerits. Okay, right. So we have taken both sides, right? Positive side as well as negative side of the ICT. Right. So hereafter, this may be the last title in the first unit, but it takes some time. But I try to go quickly. The last title of this first unit would be the evolution of the computer, or maybe history of the computer. See, up to now, we discussed about the ICT. In no circumstances or in no instances we took the computer. We discussed about ICT. It includes all the things, including computer. But we didn't specifically talk about computer, right? But this may be the first time we take the computer. So let's take the computer's history or computer's evolution. Right. Before we discussing about computer evolution, let's take this picture. Okay. Take a look at this picture. So what can you understand from this picture? Anybody? What can you understand from here?
Evolution of human from chimpanzee.
Human from chimpanzee.
Okay, evolution of a human. So, okay, right. Let's, I will explain. I tell you the reason for showing this photograph a little later, but I tell you something. Something before. Okay, look here. This shows the evolution of human. Definitely it's correct. As it is said that the origin of human was a kind of monkey, right? What is it? What's the name of it?
Chimpanzee.
Is it chimpanzee? No, right? Any others?
Yes, sir.
Chimpanzee.
No, right? What is it? It's a kind of monkey, right? Apes. Right. So as it is said that it is the origin, apes. It's a kind of monkey. Chimpanzee is different than apes. Okay, look. So the reason for showing this photograph is, look here. So we all came from this kind of a monkey, but what happened was, so when time changes, you know, some characteristics of this animal, listen to me very carefully, right? Some characteristics of this animal have been reduced, right? Some of the characteristics were reduced over the years. And some of the characteristics of this animal were increased over the years. So if you compare these apes and you are the present human being. Now you can simply check some characters are newly added to you. These were not found in that particular monkey. So what happens? Some characteristics which were not found or maybe found in little bit amount were increased, gradually increased. And some of the characteristics of that apes are not found at the present human being. So what happened? That characteristic gradually decreased. But if you compare you and that particular monkey, you know, you have some differences. I mentioned some of them decreased, some of them increased, but the structure remains same. The structure of that particular monkey, maybe the structure of the human remains same. We have, you can understand, right? The structure is there, maybe the way of eating, maybe the digestive systems or whatever. So it looks same. So what I'm bringing here is, we come from that apes. It's a kind of monkey. So from there to here, things changed. So some of the characteristics of that particular monkey were decreased. Some of them were increased. However, the structure, the body structure, the main structure remains same. That is unchanged. So the reason for showing this photograph is, even the computer evolution, computer history also looks same. It is similar to human history. So now you can understand that it is said that the computers were introduced around early 40s or something. So in that particular time, computers had characteristics. It would be easy if I give one characteristic. So it is said that computers took around one room in that particular time, right? Room size computers. Imagine the size. Nowadays we have hundreds of, even thousands of computers in a room. You can easily put a computer in your pocket. You know, smartphone is a computer, right? So see how far things changed. But in that particular time, computers were very large. So, you know, size is one of the characteristic. Not only size, there may be so many characteristics possible for a computer. So what happened when things changed or when years passed? Some characteristics of that computer or those computers were increased. Some of the characteristics were increased and some of them were decreased. Have you understood? But the structure, main structure remains same. Even in the earliest stages also, computers took the input and they performed the process and produced the output. Even the structure looks same nowadays. But things change. Some of the characteristics increase, some of them decrease. Now you can compare both human generations and computer generations and understand the facts. Have you got that point, right? That may be the reason why I have shown you that picture of human evolution. Remember, computer evolution also looks same. But I have taken only one characteristic in order to explain, right? Size. But you know, computer has so many characteristics, including size. Okay, right. So when you come, when you take that human evolution, you know, from time to time, these human beings have different names. Do you remember some of the names which the human generations come across? Give me some names. You might have learned in other subjects.
Homo habilis,
Yes.
Homo
Homo
erectus,
sapiens.
What about the present generation?
Homo sapiens sapiens.
Yes. So you have different generations which have different names. Okay. So I'm not. I'm not good in those names, but as you pronounce, I can get something. Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, right? So Homo sapiens sapiens. So there are Nigandadas also there, right? Nigandadas.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are names in order to in order to point some of the generations. Similarly, we have computers from 1940 or something. Time to time, things changed. Whenever new features added or whenever some features are vanished, generations are changed. In computer, you have 5 different generations. We have 5 different generations. But when it comes to human generation, we have special names. But here, we don't have special names. We name them as first generation computers, second generation computers, third, fourth, and fifth generation computers. We have 5 generation computers. All these 5 generation computers have different features. Maybe some of the features may be same, but definitely there may be little difference in between generations. So, you know, at the time when computers were introduced, that could be classified as first generation. The present generation is fifth generation. So in between the first generation and fifth generation, you know, definitely things changed. Some characteristics were increased, some of them were decreased. So we have to discuss about the characteristics of each generation, right? First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. But I don't think that it is good to discuss today, but better I will show this. Okay, these are the things which we talked about. First generation around, look at the numbers, these years. Actually, years are not important. I'm also not interested in taking these years because, you know, these are histories. No one can be sure. Even if you go through some other books, they have some other duration, time period. So it is tough to say that it is perfect. But since they are printed in your book, I try to take it. But again, I tell you, if you are interested or if you can, remember them. Otherwise, they are not important. Okay. So 1940 to 1956, first generation. 1956 to 63, second generation. 64 to 75, third generation. 75 to 89, fourth generation. From 1989 to present, right? So quite a long time, right? 1990, around 20 years, right? Or 20, 30. Yes, 30 years. Still we are in the fifth generation. We are unable to, step forward, right? There may be some reasons. Let's discuss. Look at the other periods. They are very short. 40 to 56, around 15 years. 56, 63, around 6 years. 64, 75, maybe around 10. 75, 89, around 15, right? But here it goes beyond that mark. So which means we are unable to pass this generation. It may be the reason why we have, so look at this moment, we have, at the present moment, we have computers with so much of good features. So that may be the reason why we are unable to take a step, because you have all the things, all the expected things in the computer now. We will discuss, right? Later I will explain. So that may be the reason why it takes some time to take the next generation, but maybe in the near future. Okay. So enough. In the next class, I will explain about those characteristics. I think I need 2 more classes to finish things off, but I try to conclude them in the next class because we are taking some time for discussing some basics. But you know, unit number 2 is very important. Definitely, it is a biggest unit, so we have to spend classes for that also. So I try to complete in the next class, but I'm not sure because sometimes it takes more than one class, maybe 2 classes. Okay, but you know, finishing the units, completing the units is not a matter, right? So you can't say that you finished things or 2 units or 3 units. You have to be very good in all these units, right? You may finish 1 unit or 2 units, doesn't matter. These are just numbers. But once the unit is finished, you must ask yourself whether you are perfect in all these subject content. If it is good, if it is so, then you are good. Okay. Right. So enough for today. We will discuss the other things in the next class. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.